Hey everybody, today we're going to show you how to complete all 4 Fort Condor battles on hard mode here in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so let's jump into it. Now before we jump into any battles, I want to let you guys know that if you are struggling throughout any of these battles, you can go into your game difficulty and turn it down to easy. You still will be playing this little mini game on hard mode, but it will make it a little bit easier if you're struggling to actually complete one of these. So for our first battle, we're going to be using set 1 for hero units, which is Cloud and Barret, and we're going to be using set 1 for our ally units. So starting with this first battle, our strategy is pretty much going to be the same throughout all of these. We're going to start by putting down 2 elite enforcers on both sides. So we went ahead and put one on the right. Once we hit 3 bars, we can throw another one on the left. And then what we're going to do is put down elite rangers behind them. So those will be fine for a good several seconds. They'll go in there and be a distraction. We can throw down the elite rangers behind them and they can deal the damage from distance. My strategy here is really just to try to keep those elite rangers alive. So you'll notice throughout this battle that I'll consistently put the vanguards as well as those enforcers in front of the rangers to go kind of just distract. I don't really use them, don't plan on them taking out any enemies. I just want them to go by me a lot of times so the rangers can deal a lot of damage from behind. And you'll see that that actually works really, really well. We end up pushing all the way up to the boss really early on in this fight. And you'll see we consistently just keep throwing down vanguards as well as the enforcers on the left and right side. So just keep up with that strategy for now. Eventually, you're going to get overrun on this left side. You'll end up having a lot of enemies spawn at once, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. But by that time, we'll have Cloud available. So you can see that another one just spawned over there on the left. We're going to go ahead and throw down another Vanguard, I believe, right here as a distraction so that our Ranger can keep dealing damage on this Eagle. We're going to come back over here to the left side in just a second. We're going to throw down one more thing over here to try to take out this Eagle since we're close to getting him down. And then over here, you can see there's a lot of enemies that spawn. So instead of trying to use any other troops, we'll just go ahead and throw down Cloud. He'll deal damage, take out almost all of them. And at this point, I realize, okay, now we just have the final boss. Let's try to go after him quickly before any other enemies start spawning in. So we throw down Barret. He does a lot of damage right in front of him. And at this point, it's really just a game of spamming your troops towards the main boss to try to take him out quickly. You see, we still have this monster on the left side here, this robot. We're throwing down another enforcer just to keep him distracted for a bit. And then we have this other enemy spawn on the right side that at this point, I'm not even worried about. I'm just spamming troops at the final boss to try to finish him really quickly. And you can see that that works perfectly fine as we're able to take him out with 1 minute and 13 seconds still on the clock. But that's going to be the strategy for battle number 1. So just like our first battle, for our second battle, we're going to be using set 1 for the hero units as well as set 1 for the ally units. So for our second battle, we're essentially going to do the same strategy. There's a couple of things that we did different, a couple of small mistakes that I made, but we were still able to complete this super easily. We're going to do the same thing with our shield guys. We're going to throw down the elite enforcers on both sides to be a distraction, go up and deal a little bit of damage, help us push up into the map here. And then we'll throw down elite rangers behind them. One mistake that I made early on was I put a regular ranger on the left side here because I was very impatient. I would recommend just waiting and putting down the elite ranger. You'll probably be able to take out this eagle on the left side much easier. But you guys can see it still ended up being fine. You can see my enforcer here is about to die, so I throw down another one. And then we start getting overrun a little bit because I put down the enforcer while the guy was already swinging and it dealt damage to him as well. A couple times what's going to happen, you're going to see these little yellow lions that you just saw kind of go back toward my base. All you need to do is drop a Vanguard on them and you can just forget about them. They'll get taken out really easily by your defenses as well as that Vanguard and you'll be fine. You can keep focusing on your attack. You'll see that happen again here in a second on the left side. But at this point, we're pushed up pretty far on the left side. I'm feeling good. I'm going to go ahead and throw down another Ranger since our Enforcer has full health. We just took out the Eagle. Now we just need to finish clearing out this right side so our bar can move up and we can place our troops closer to the boss. Here's that yellow lion thing I was talking about on the left side. Again, we'll just throw down a Vanguard in the back and then forget about it. He'll take care of it as well as your defenses. And we can go back to focusing on pushing up here. So as we push up, we're going to take out this guy on the right. We throw down another Vanguard as well as our other Vanguard that came back from taking out that yellow robot. And that allows us to push up on the right. And at this point, I'm like, okay, let's try to take out this Eagle on the right. So I go ahead and throw Barret down. He does a lot of damage to the main boss. The left side's looking pretty good for the most part. We just have one robot, and then a second one spawns in, and this is where I make the mistake. I use Cloud to do absolutely nothing. He hits the ground and doesn't do anything. If you wait and use him on the left, there's 3 robots over here that you could easily wipe with Cloud if you just place them on that left side. But because I didn't, those 3 robots are going to turn and start shooting at my troops, which in the grand scheme of things didn't really matter too much because we already have so many troops on the map and we can keep placing them down right here in front of the final boss. We've got a couple more troops on the right side spawning, but because we have so many troops that are down and that are distracting them, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just going to continuously put down troops if I have any left in front of the main boss so that we can go ahead and take him out and get the battle done. But again, this one's pretty easy as well. You shouldn't have too many problems with this one, just running that same strategy. Now, just like our first 2 battles, again, we are going to be using set number 1 for hero units and set number 1 for ally units for battle number 3. Battle number 3 is going to be pretty simple as well. We're going to run essentially the same exact strategy. We'll go ahead and drop an elite enforcer on the right. And then once we hit 3 bars, we'll drop another one on the left. And we're doing the exact same thing. We're going to use the elite rangers behind both of these guys. And you'll notice that in this battle, your elite enforcers will actually go down quicker than in the first 2 battles. So by the time we get both of these rangers down, here we go, putting the first one down on the right side. And then once we hit that 3 bar, we'll put the second one on the left. And by the time both of the rangers are down, you're going to notice that both of my enforcers here are already extremely weak. And I don't want my rangers to get taken out too early into this battle. So my next step really is just to put down 2 standard enforcers in front of the rangers. So we put one there on the right. Once we get to the 2 bar here, we'll put another one on the left, and that will buy our rangers a little bit more time to do some more damage on these enemies. Now, at some point, you're going to see both of these yellow robots on each side push at the same time. Just put 1 Vanguard on each of them. You can see some of my other troops already dealt a lot of damage, and you can see this one here, our Eagle, I think was able to take it out, but we put a Vanguard down anyways. They'll come in from the back, and that will allow your troops up front to end up pushing up and get you a little bit more wiggle room. Now that we're back up, we're going to throw another enforcer down since the one on the left died. You can see we don't really have a lot going on over here on the right side except for 1 enemy right here, and our Vanguard seems to be hitting it pretty hard. So I threw down another troop there behind it to try to finish that off. Now at this point, I would recommend trying to attack from one side. You can see I threw Barrett down on the left since it was open, and then I threw Cloud down on the left as well to just go ahead and take out this Eagle. And then we can attack the main boss from the far left. We have both of our heroes over there. We have several troops. Now all we need to do is put down a couple troops on the right side to be a distraction. So you can see we're using this ranger to take out that right Eagle and to really take the attention of any troops that spawn over there. And we finally get that big bird to turn around and focus on those guys while we put down troops again over here on the left and in the middle to go attack our final boss. So you can see we'll throw down troops right here in the middle. What will happen when that ranger gets taken out on the right is our next troop in line will run over there and distract once again. So you guys will see here's a Vanguard. It immediately goes over, distracts the troops on the right, while all of our troops and heroes on the left can focus on the main boss. And this is the strategy that I think works the best, is if you kind of just attack from one side. It'll make it a little bit easier. You don't have to actually take out every enemy on the map. Now for our 4th and final battle, we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to continue to use set 1 for our hero units, but we're going to switch over to set 2 for our ally units. This is going to allow us to use 3 of the catapults, which will be really useful considering the final boss in this one uses poison towards the end. And that will take out all of your ground units if you're too close. So having those catapults will help significantly. So for the 4th and final battle, we don't actually have the elite enforcers with this setup. So we're going to use standard enforcers on both sides. I went ahead and put one down on the right and one down on the left. And you'll see early on that we actually get bombarded from the right side quickly. So we're going to throw down a Vanguard on the right. We're not going to waste our rangers yet because we're going to need rangers closer towards the end game. And then I went back over and we put down another enforcer on the right, since this is where most of the enemies are coming from. We want to keep them distracted for a little bit, not really worried about these troops right now. Once you deal with that, you'll end up finding that you'll have 2 of these yellow lion things spawn in and try to push back toward your base. At this point, we can throw down, honestly, just like 1 enforcer and 1 Vanguard, or you can put down just 2 Vanguards. You don't need too much. You can put these guys back here as well as that Eagle, and they'll take care of the robot lines that push you. Now is a good time to use Cloud. Eventually, you're going to get pushed up on that right side. They're going to destroy your troops. You have 3 or 4 enemies pushing up, and you can see that in my game, and most likely yours, a lot of those guys will come from the right side if you're running this strategy. we don't need Cloud for endgame here. So using him early is actually pretty useful. And you can see we were actually able to hold the line pretty easily. Because there's not a whole lot going on that left side of the map, my goal is to clear out the remaining of the right side. So I'm just spamming troops back here. At this point, I'm still putting down Vanguard to take out these ground troops. You can also put down a couple Rangers to take out this bird a little bit quicker. I probably could have got away with putting down another Ranger first to take out the bird a little bit quicker. But the Vanguards aren't useful at the end because the main boss has poison. So you want your Rangers for the end. But once you're finally able to take control of a lot of the map and that bar pushes up to where you can get close to the boss, you can see right here in a second, we take out everything on the right. There's nothing left currently. We're going to go ahead and throw down our 3 catapults directly in front of the final boss, because this is what we're going to use to actually take him out. And we want plenty of time. So we still got like 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock. We're going to go ahead and throw all 3 of these down. We have plenty of troops on the right side dealing with the troops that are spawning in for the enemy. And then you'll see here that we end up having a giant robot that's going to spawn on the left. And it's a little bit of a mistake not having any troops left on the left, because this robot is immediately going to go for your catapults. So at this point, you just want to put down any troops that you have in front of them just to be a distraction. At this point, you should have Barrett available, and he will actually be really useful in this situation, as once you put down a couple troops, you can then drop Barrett right in front of this robot, and it will take him down as well as hit that final boss, and that will clear out the left side for the most part, aside from the bird. But at this point, we're really not too worried about the bird. We've got plenty of troops on the map that can handle it, and we really just need to keep those catapults taking out the final boss here. We've still got 40 seconds on the clock, plenty of time to work with. If you have any troops left, just spam them, throw them down. And at this point, you just wait. We've taken out all the troops because we're in hard mode. They have a set number of troops as well. And once you take them out, you'll be able to win the battle pretty easily. But this is how to complete Fort Condor on hard mode. Hopefully this video helps some of you guys out. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.